Welcome to Inclusivity Unlocked, the podcast that's all about inclusion and diversity, brought to you by the Association Explorator. We're chatting with you right from our studio in Craiova, and together we'll make sure that tricky isms and complex terms from the world of inclusion become a part of your everyday life. Okay, now it's time to unlock. In this podcast episode, we would like to ask the question if handball and sports might be a means of inclusion. And to answer this question, we invited our guest, handball player Valentina. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And firstly, I would like to ask you to describe the handball for us, because I'm sure that there are listeners like me who are not that close to sports at all. And can you maybe describe a little bit the handball and its rules?
So basically, I will put it for everybody to understand. Handball is a game just like football, but played with the hand. The rules are the same. You just need to score. You have this goal. You need to score goals. There are 7 players in a team, 1 goalkeeper and 6 players on the court. Each of them have different names for every position. And you just pass, dribble, shoot, and that's pretty much it. Simple as that.
But you can touch each other, right?
You can touch each other for sure. Definitely handball, it's a very physical sport. It kind of gets violent sometimes. So, it's been compared a lot with box. Mm-hmm. Even though you need to score and you need to run, also it brings all those skill sets into discussion, running, shooting, jumping, changes of direction. So it's quite complex.
Mm-hmm. And when you're training, you also need to do the running and jumping.
Yeah. When you train, it's a completely different type of situation. You need strength training, you need technical and tactical training, you need a lot of running. So you basically need to run like an athlete, like a professional athlete on the stadium. You need jumping also. It's like you're training for basketball. I don't know. Changes of direction. So football. It's a lot combined.
And why you decided even to play handball? Like someone invited you?
It kind of became like a fun activity to do in my free time. I was quite young when I started playing handball. I was 8, I think. And before that, in school, I was in the cheerleading team. And my teacher said like, oh, you should start dancing. You should go and take some dance course. And I was like, okay, yeah, I will try that. I went. I went for 2 days and I was like, nah, I'm giving up. And then my father, being a football player, kind of influenced me to start going into the sports field. Like, I was a tomboy growing up, so I liked everything that was physical, I'd say, like sports. I liked running. I was quite an active child, even though I was chubby. And I wanted to try handball. I saw one time on TV, I remember it was a team from Vâlcea, like back then, it was the best team in Romania. And I was like, I should try this sport. And my father was like, yeah, you should. And I just went there. I liked it. I was very anxious when I was a kid, so every time I was put into a social situation, I kind of like closed myself in, but I felt like handball, it's cliche to say understood me, but I felt more like included in this field.
Because it's also a team game.
It's a team game, yeah.
You have others to share with.
Yeah, it's like it became a community. I was there, I was surrounded by girls that liked also playing handball. We shared the same passions. We were the same age, we were joking, we were laughing, we were training, so it was fun.
Mm-hmm. So like girls' power.
Yeah, girls' power for sure.
Yeah. Now you're playing in Craiova or in other place?
I played in Craiova. I moved to another place. It's called CSM Unirea Slobozia. It's close to Bucharest. I played in Craiova for 5 years. I started playing here when I was 16, so I joined the senior team at 16. And then last year I decided I've been through some injuries, so my recovery needed also time to play. Like I needed time to get better, so I chose to go to a different team to get better.
But is it hard to recover?
Yeah, it took me 2 years to recover from that. I've been through 2 surgeries, and for everybody that's saying, "Oh, it's just like it's a surgery, you will get over it," it's not the same. Like it kind of messes up with your mind also. So I needed to take time for myself for that, to work on the mental part, because I've been alone through this, and also with the physical part, with seeing all my teammates playing and me being there, like just cheering for them, it kind of broke my heart. So I had to work on different kind of aspects into this.
But usually when this type of injuries happen, is there anyone to really support, like inside of the team or the coach, how it usually works? Or?
You would probably, from my experience, I got a lot of support from my teammates and a lot of support from my coach back then, but there are just like after a while, let's say first 2 months, you just need to go through this yourself. Definitely therapy would help for this, for athletes, for sports person in general. Therapy would help. But I chose to go through this myself. I don't think it was the smartest idea, but yeah, therapy helps through this.
Yeah, sometimes we're too stubborn to understand that we might need somebody else's help.
Yeah.
It's hard even to ask for it, I think.
Sometimes it's even hard to admit that you need help. And it took me a while to actually realize that I needed somebody just to talk to about that, because every time I was just starting the conversation about my injury, and I realized maybe it's too much for other people, they don't get me, they would not understand, and I just stopped. But it's this rock that I had on my chest that I had to get over too.
I'm really happy that you're able to speak about it now, and I do also believe that like verbal expression helps in a way. So now you're playing another team.
Yeah.
How are the players distributed between the cities or between the countries? Are usually the teams diverse in a way? Like, for example, does the team in Craiova have players from all around Romania or maybe even different countries?
Oh, definitely. Now, Romanian league, it's a very diverse league. I would say it's probably the best league in Europe right now, because Europe has the best teams. So one team, like let's say in Craiova, has players from Romania, players from Montenegro, players from Serbia, Angola, Brazil. So it's a very, very diverse community. Everybody there is speaking English, or they are trying to learn Romanian, which is very nice. It's the same in almost all clubs right now in Romania. I think there is only one that only has like Romanians mostly. But
so you kind of train in English?
Yeah, we train in English. So for me, when I first came to Craiova, it was a big shock, because making this transition from the juniors team to the seniors team. In juniors team, it was only Romanian. So I was put in the situation where I needed to learn all those terms in English. And I was like, okay, I know English, but I don't know these terms. They are foreign to me. And the coach is speaking in English. Everybody speaks in English. And sometimes it's hard because you find yourself on the court and you need to just communicate a lot. Communication is very important in handball. So I need to be aware that I need to not speak in Romanian, because this is the first thought that comes into my mind, and I need to just like translate it into English. So it's a very fast transition to that.
Yeah, as people say, that's the easiest way to swear in your mother language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you're just shouting something out loud, you also want to use your own language.
Yeah, it's the same with like making team plays, because myself, I'm a playmaker, so I need to kind of tell everybody what they should do, like choose the play that is best in the situation.
But where is like the playmaker stance?
Playmaker is handball, it's the goal is here. It's a court of like 40 meters length and then 20 meters width. So you have goals on both sides, and then it's like a semicircle surrounding this. So you need to defend this semicircle, and the playmaker is staying like in the middle of that.
Okay.
So you kind of you have this view of everything. So I'm the one that sees what play should make the wing, or the back player, or the pivot, or this. I'm the one directing.
And you kind of shouting out loud,
Yeah.
like, hey, you need to move this side and
Yeah.
go that way.
So in practices, we have these combinations. We have these plays that we need to make. So I'm the one that knows all the plays. Everybody should know all the plays, but I'm the one that is saying what play should be made in the specific attack. And I am the one that's like, either I'm saying the combination or I'm showing the combination, because we have numbers, we have signs with this, like we have this, or we have this, or we have this, like there are certain plays, so the opponent doesn't know what we do next. So I'm the one that's screaming everything. If coach is screaming, I'm screaming also. So it's kind of like weird sometimes.
Yeah. But like the transition from junior to like professional sport, at which age it happens usually?
Usually it should happen at 19, 20. I would say that this is the best age for transition. I did this at 16. So I was young back then. I was the youngest player in, I think, an European Cup back then. And it was not very easy. I would say in general, like best is to make this like step at 19 or 20, because you have this skill set already like developed. You have the strength, you have the mind, you have the knowledge for this. At 16, even though I was quite advanced for my age, I was not like I didn't have the same strength as everybody else. Like I was playing with women that were 30 back then. So
yeah, and also you've been going through your like teenage ages, like your body developed. In this period.
I realized that my body like fully like developed at 19, 20. I became a woman, I would say. So at 16 I was still a kid.
But like, and was it hard going through your teenage period, and at the same time people ask you to play professionally, you know, you needed to be at the same level with a woman of 30 years old, like how it was like emotionally and physically for you?
I think physically it was kind of hard because I didn't have I wasn't at the same level with them, and I would just put that, like I was not at the same level with them, so I need to work extra a lot. I was going to school back then also. I was in high school, and I was going to school from 7 to 2 in the afternoon, and then I was going to practice, and sometimes I had to skip school to go to practice, and I was staying overtime to work extra, strength training, and I managed to do that in like a year or something. Of course, every time you play sports, you need to work on yourself, like at any age. But emotionally also was kind of hard, because I needed to try to sometimes fit, even though it's not good. I realize now that at the beginning I was trying to fit into this circle of women that were older than me, and my conversation were different than the conversation that they were having, and I needed to have this like not persona, I would say, but I needed to look more grown, more mature for that. Yeah, I had to mature very early, I would say. Because of that, I was a public person, so I was on TV. I was having people that were seeing me on the street and they were recognizing me, so I had to be very polite all the time. I had to take pictures with the fan and go to interviews and stuff like that. And for a kid, it was interesting,
harsh,
I would say. Yeah. I was just thrown into this world
of social media also.
Yeah.
Should be really hard. Yeah. You said that you had to manage between school activity and school classes and sports activity after like training, but how was your relationship like with kids in school? Because in my school, when we really had some professional athletes and sports persons, teachers were kind of saying, okay, you can ski, but you will be like stupid, or they would also blame them for not being able to cope with both activities in their life. And at the same time, they were saying to them, like, okay, you will be 30, no one will be interested for you anymore because you weren't be able to play sports. When would you do that? And at the same time, I like understand the teachers, maybe they even said that from a good position. Maybe they really were scared for some kids because not everyone become a real athlete and go for Olympic Games, for example. It's just like numbers of those who do that. And maybe they were scared. But of course, like pushing this way, it's not also the right thing to do.
It's not the healthiest way, I would say. I've definitely had teachers that were kind of trying to make me realize that handball is not some profession that you should be able to live with, like to earn your existence from. So they were always saying that, you should come more to school, like school is the one thing that will bring you a future. Mm-hmm. And what teachers sometimes fail to realize is that some kids actually put in effort. And I've seen a lot of children my age that made a lot of sacrifices, and not sometimes, but most times, those sacrifices pay off. So they think that what we do, if I say I'm going to a handball practice, they think that I'm just going there, wasting 2 hours, 3 hours of my life, but it's not like that. I'm working, I'm putting in effort, I'm training hard for this, and when I come to school, I try to do my best. Like I've quite been a top student in all my classes. Like if I was not top, I was definitely like right below that. So I was trying to keep up with school also. But I've had also teachers that were very supportive of me because they were kind of inspired by what I was doing, and they were proud of the things I was sacrificing and the work I'm putting and how I show up to classes. And for kids, it's very important for for them to have a teacher that just sees their effort, because sometimes you just don't feel seen enough, and you don't get the recognition that you deserve. And it's been a problem for a while.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You said about the supportive community inside of the team. Was it all the time like this? Like, do women really support each other? I'm asking it also because there are a lot of memes and myths that there is no real woman friendship in a way, or ability to cooperate. Is it different in sports?
I would say women in general can cooperate. If they can cooperate, they can play handball. Being a team sport, you need some healthy competition into that. So healthy competition is good. But for me, in my case, I was always like surrounded by strong women and strong characters. So as long as the characters don't clash, you could always have this support. So in my case, I was a happy case. I don't know about any other thing.
But what healthy competition means to you?
Healthy competition usually happens between players that play in the same position. So if I play, let's say, playmaker, and I have another teammate that is playmaker, healthy competition means if I'm on the court, she's supporting me. If she's on the court, I'm supporting her. I'm screaming, I'm shouting, I'm giving her ideas on what she should do on the court. And her feedback should be like either listening or taking the advice, or like being very like friendly about this, like fair play about how she takes the information. And I think this is healthy competition. No pushing in trainings, in practices, no, like mean words, like always having this good atmosphere, because sometimes even though, let's say, you don't have the top players in one team, atmosphere makes a very big difference. Like you can win championships with just having a good atmosphere, good chemistry in the team.
So even when you're not playing, you have to kind of attend the game to support your team and kind of try also be included, like give an advice, for example.
It's as long as I'm on the court, my focus is there. But when I'm off court, my focus needs to be like 2 times at least more, because I need to analyze everything that's happening there to just be present in the game. So when coach decides to put me in, I know exactly what I should do. So I need to support my teammates, I need to scream, I need to encourage them, because this is very important. Sometimes you get passages in the game that you just lose yourself, and you need your teammates to like lift you up. Like, come on, you can do this, you got this, it's just a shot, you will get another chance, because handball is different than football. In football you score 2-3 goals a game, let's say. In handball you score 40-50 goals a game. So
but how it happens like that much?
Handball is a very fast game, so you need a lot, like being the court being shorter, I would say, you need to run a lot. So attacks in general take like 30 seconds maximum, so you score a lot of goals. It's just back and forth, this kind of physical conditioning, running all the time.
Is there an hierarchy inside of the team, like the coach is the leader, the players like behind him, and like in a team you also like, this is the top player, this is like, and you go in kind of hierarchical?
I think it's a subconscious hierarchy. The coach should be the leader, but he or she should not have a say in how we manage the relationship in the team, in my opinion. So everything that's happening, like let's say in the locker room, stays there. Like we fix our problems. If we have problems, we fix it there, and then on the court we give our best. Of course, in a team there should be a captain. So the captain is the one that's actually leading the team. She or he should be the one that are the most supportive, are encouraging also to play our best. They're giving us ideas and advices, and I think this is the hierarchy. And then for the other ones, should be the best idea should be not to like have this subconscious hierarchy, but unfortunately this happens. Like everybody has thoughts in their minds, and they are aware of how things work in a team.
Yeah, but do you believe that in future it will be possible to make relationships inside of the team more on a horizontal line, you know, not in a way of everyone being a structure like number 1, number 2?
I think this is very possible, but now I've just talked before about the characters like clashing. It should be a very good mix of girls that just get along together, but in a team it's hard to find people that are on the same level of knowledge, or like they have the same character, the same personality. It definitely can be possible, but I think it's luck sometimes. It's just how girls came into the team and they just fit perfectly. It's like a piece of, like a puzzle, you know, every piece fits perfectly. I don't think sometimes in team sports it's possible to have that.
And also your contracts, they're like for a year or how long time? I mean that all the time team changes, or usually it's like for 2 years is the same woman playing with you. How it works?
Usually a contract could be from 1 year to 4, 5, 6 years. It depends. Most players nowadays opt for a 2-year contract. So let's say you have this team that stays on for 1 year, and then somebody decides to leave, and then other players come. So every time it's a constant change, relation. You need to make friends with the new players also, to integrate them in the team, to have this good atmosphere, to make them feel at home, because this kind of inclusion matters also. Let's say I go to a team and I'm new in the team. It would affect my play if I don't feel included in this. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard to find people that are on the same level as you. You just need, like, as a new player, you need to be open also to other personalities and not have this like closed mindset of, oh, I'm like this, I would not change for the team. Sometimes in team sports you need to change not change your whole character, but like adapt and try to make compromises about this, to feel like feel included, also other people to include you in the team. It should be a balance all the time.
Did you face any challenges as a female handball player, like in Romania or when you've been abroad?
I think the main challenge I've managed is, for me, my experience, I'm quite young, I would say, for a handball player, would be age. So every time I was going somewhere, I was the youngest. So this was the challenge that I was facing. I know about, not from my experience, but I know in general, women were faced with the discrimination of not being as good as the men handball players, and we were always like put down by society, and we were told that handball, like girls handball is not strong, like you are not strong enough, you should not be playing handball, you should go do what women do. Women can do everything nowadays, like basically we can do everything. I need to take into consideration the skill set and the difference between like body in general between men and women. Men by nature are stronger than us, but our skill set can compensate sometimes for this. So
because you're more like elastic.
We are more elastic. We are
faster maybe sometimes.
I wouldn't say faster, but the elasticity plays a big part, and also we can train for everything. So for our level, we can have the speed, we can have the strength, we can have this. So this would be probably the biggest thing I faced.
Also, I'm thinking all the time about young girls who are just wondering if they should go to sports. Because even when I was a kid, a lot of people, like at some age, I think it happens, like when you go to 6 maybe, because at first you're playing with boys, and everyone is playing football, everyone is in the same team, but then you become maybe a little bit like older at 6, if I can say so, and people start to like say, do some more girly things. You're not a boy, you can't be in mud or in dirt, you need to be more feminine in a way. And I think it also kind of blocks your abilities as a woman to move, to be in a space. And I all the time come back to one essay that really influenced me during the university, when I was also trying to somehow cope with my body and like going through also teenage
like you go through all those changes in your body and everything.
It was like actually a very old essay, it's 1980s, and it's like called Throwing Like a Girl, and like even the title gives you the idea that that's always said to us, like don't, like to boys actually, you throw in like a girl, but what does it mean? Actually girls can throw as good as boys, or even better than some boys. It's all the time about the selection of girls and boys we're talking about. And I think it's just really challenging for some young women, and I'm really happy that you really like came to the podcast to talk about this, to show the example by yourself that it's possible to be a sports woman playing handball or any other type of sport. Just if you put some effort, and if you want, of course it will be more challenging than it would be for a man to do that, I believe.
Have you ever played sports before?
Actually, I'm not that much. I'm doing my yoga from time to time.
From yoga to time to time. This is a sport also. It's kind of hard. So I know men that can't even do yoga. So yoga like a girl, it's a very big compliment. When I grew up, and I realized that people were saying that handball is not a women's sport. Women, I don't know why, I don't know if it's just my case, but I feel like women are very ambitious. So if somebody told me like you should not be doing that, I'm gonna be exactly like I'm gonna be doing that just to prove to you that I can do it. And I have this ambition in me all the time. Like, I wanted to prove people that women can do this too. Like, I can play handball. I can be a top player. I can be a handball player, like a very good handball player. I have all those dreams. And I just encourage all girls, everybody, just follow their dreams. If they want to play handball, if they want to paint, if they want to dance, if they want to play football, basketball, to do everything that they like. The phrase "throw like a girl" nowadays I think should be a compliment, because I know some pretty strong girls that can throw very good, like better than men, and it's been this stigma around how men should not talk about their feelings a lot, and they're said that if you show emotion or if you throw like a girl, you are a woman, you are not
feminine,
you are feminine, you should not be feminine. Everybody should embrace their femininity. I think it's if you're not in touch with this part of yourself, you tend to lose yourself and you tend to be mean. You lack the emotional capacity of that if you are not in touch with this.
Yeah, I think we just need to change the understanding of the word femininity in general, because the stuff that connects with this world is all the time, I don't know, wearing a nice tight dress or having a good makeup. But actually femininity is different. It's about I don't know, showing emotions, of course, but it's healthy and people also should encourage that. Or being strong, because all women I know, they are much stronger than a lot of men I know. Like morally, they have their standards, they are sticking with their path, they're going to their goal. And when some of the men just lie down on the sofa and say, cook me dinner or something. That's also the part, I think, of the topic.
This thing that you said, like they are just laying on the sofa cooking, like cook me dinner, it's I feel it's for sure lack of their touch with the femininity side, because everybody should be able to cook for themselves, my opinion, to be able to, I don't know, like clean after themselves. And if you just rely on something, like rely on a woman to do this for you, you just lack accountability to some degree. And they have this mentality like how it was before, like the old generation, like women should do the stuff in the house, they should take care of the kids, the children, and they should cook, they should clean. And nowadays it's not like that, because you can put the same role into a woman that also works for herself and has her career and has her goals. And this, there should always need to be a balance between these. Men work, women work at the same time. They should take care of the kids, they should cook, and they should do this in a very 50-50 way.
Yeah, of course it's hard to go into like 50-50 directly way, but it's still, if the idea is inside of the family, it's very important. Of
course, not 50-50, but like, let's say nowadays I give 70, you give 30, but it's not about like, this is not a financial type of situation. I'm talking about like morally and everything that you do around this activity should be split.
You're vacuuming and washing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I cook, you clean, you wash the dishes. Is this?
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad today, you feel good today, and then it's just like it should be this balance.
Yeah, but going back to the topic of perception and femininity, was it hard for you seeing, coping with your body through those teenage years? Like, you also need to have muscles, but also the society kind of, I think, pushes you to be very thin all the time as a woman. And myself, I think I also experienced, like, when some of my relatives or people around, they were like, maybe you need to lose some weight, for example, and I think it's even much harder when you're a player, because you all the time need to check your weight, your muscles, and like put it on the list.
It's been quite hard. So I've grown up chubby, so I've been through a lot of stages with my body, from losing a lot of weight to gaining a lot of weight to then having a lot of muscle and sometimes being anxious about wearing dresses because I've had strong arms, or like I could see my muscles, or I could see my calves. And I've known a lot of girls that were ashamed of their body, which is it shouldn't be like that. Like, I'm training for this and I should be proud of the things I've achieved, because having muscle is also an achievement. Like, I'm building my body for this sport. Like, I'm making sacrifices for this. You should be skinny, you should be like a model, you should be like that. It's a very, very slippery slope.
And toxic in a way.
And
to
it's
yourself.
toxic, yeah. Body shaming, definitely. This was also something that I've encountered, like challenge as women. I've been told like I should lose weight. I've been told that I should gain weight. I've been told that you're not strong enough. You are too skinny. You are too chubby. I am perfect the way I am, but I need to take care of how like the food that I put into my body, because it would affect my performance. This is another thing. But for everyday life, I'm perfect the way I am. I love myself. I love how I look. I don't want to be skinnier. I don't want to be chubbier. I just love my body, and everybody should do the same. Everybody should love themselves.
Is it like an affirmation, like everyday thing you say to yourself?
Yeah, I wake up and I say like, oh, I love myself.
No, but actually I do believe that it helps,
It helps a lot. It's like,
because when you look in the mirror and every day say to yourself, oh, I need to like change the arms, change this part and that part, it also affects your brain. You never see the full picture, the full beauty.
Yeah, as long as you don't start to complain about certain parts of your body, and you're just like, I wake up in the morning and I say, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm good, I look good today, I like the way I look. This is a different kind of affirmation. So I try to do that instead of like, oh, I don't like my arms are too big, I don't like my legs, I should be more skinny around this. This is the unhealthy way, and I encourage everybody when they wake up in the morning to just say like, I'm beautiful, I'm good, I look, I'm enough, I look beautiful. It's just very important to acknowledge and to love yourself. And once I realized that I need to love myself more, I got more comfortable in my body, and I got more comfortable with every relationship that I have outside of handball, and no matter what, like friendship, relationship, everything like that. As long as I love myself, the people around me would love me also. Who's there for me is there for me. When it comes to my body, they appreciate you more.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It's great words. Going back to like man-woman relationships between teams, how it's with communication with other men's teams? Because I'm sure that you travel, you play, and you see their performance, you see your own performance. Was there in any way like gender discrimination?
I would say there is a discrimination. Handball, I would say it's quite a small world, so I kind of know everybody from like men and women's team. I have friends all over the country and all over the world. And first of all, there is a discrimination between the pay gap. That's definitely an issue. I can complain about this a lot, because if you look at men's and women's handball game, the men's handball game is...
salary, you mean?
Salary, I mean, yeah. The men's team, it's a lot faster. Usually men in general with sports generate more profit. So there is this gap. We have the best handball player in the world, Cristina Neagu. She is Romanian. Everybody knows her. We are very proud of her, like especially in the handball world. She's our idol. And there is a pay gap, I think, between her and the fellow handball players, like from men's team.
So it's about that handball, when man plays, it gives more money to like the owner of a team, for example.
Yeah.
But at the same time, women and men put the same amount of effort playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now I got you.
It's this. And there are different cities in Romania that, let's say, the women's team generate more profit than the men's team, and it's still a pay gap between that. I don't know if it's completely fair, but I think this applies to other teams also.
Yeah. But it's an issue to discuss in the future, I think. It's totally not one day question to release.
Right now, we just started the World Championship for women under 20. And we have some very big talents right there in Romania's team. So I'm very confident that they can do a good job by representing our country and women's sports and women's handball. And maybe, who knows, in the future they can reduce this gap.
But are you scared, by the way, about like younger players coming and having better skills rather than you are, for example? And are you scared of not being able to play in a couple of years? Do you have a plan for yourself and some goals?
I'm not scared. I'm actually very proud of the girls that are coming, like from my younger generations. I'm proud of them because nowadays, with the social media and everything, I notice it's very hard for kids to start practicing a sport. So when I see somebody that has a bigger skill set than me, let's say, I'm proud because it's harder to do it nowadays with all those distractions around you and going out and social media and TikTok and Instagram and all those kind of apps. It's harder to put in the work. So it's refreshing to see that generations are coming from like behind and are taking the lead. I'm very proud of them. And then as for me, for my backup plan, as an athlete in general, you should always have a backup plan because you are not aware of the things that can happen to you on the court. So injuries are the main thing that can make you stop from playing a sport. And sometimes you just can't fix it and you need to have this backup plan. So my degree, my university is my backup plan. I also have some kind of hobbies that I like to pursue. I like painting, I like crocheting, and who knows in the future.
It's called knitting?
Yeah, crocheting.
Crocheting.
Yeah, I like that. And I can why not transform it into a business and combine all those things. So of course, in the back of your mind, you should always have a backup plan. I'm following my dream. My dream is to play in the Champions League. Why not? I've had this ever since I moved from home at 14. And why not play in the Olympic Games in 2028? Was like my ultimate dream.
Great plans.
Great plans, yeah.
Yeah, I wish you would achieve everything you want.
Thank you. Have you ever had what's your backup plan? Have you ever thought about multiple kind of...
I'm still trying to stick at least with one plan I have. But I think when you're doing other types of jobs, for me it's writing. I write most of the time, and I think it's just easier because I have this one skill. Probably I wish I would have my hands with me, and if nothing mentally or too damaging happens, I can all the time find different types of freelance jobs, like writing copyright texts for capitalistic world. It's in demand, but it seems that with sports, is the question that come up, and this is the question which a lot of also teachers or people who underestimate sport in general, they use it as a weapon in a way, to say don't do that, don't waste your time, because at the end of the day it won't bring you all the money, all the necessary stuff to live your life.
Yeah.
And this is also pretty sad, I would say.
Yeah, it's like teachers don't believe that we also have other interests than this, the other than playing handball. Of course, this is my main dream. Why would I not want to follow my main dream? My dream is to play handball. But you get to an age that you realize that, okay, I have this dream, but what if something happens in the future and I'm not able to live my dream? I should have a backup plan. And I think they fail to realize that we have other interests.
Yep.
So it's important to just like encourage us and give us the space that we need to grow into this dream that we have. But also, I think with time, we will realize ourselves that we need to have a backup plan.
But as your coach, for example, does he or she gives you the space to find some other interests in life?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Or they push, don't waste any time, just train every day, like.
I think every coach would come and say like, you should train more, you should train extra. But my free time is my free time, and I've had coaches that just told me that like, look, as long as you come on the court and you do your job, you live an athlete life, it's good. You can do whatever. So it gave me this kind of freedom to explore everything that I like, and I had an interest before that, and they gave me this space to grow into the woman that I am right now, and I'm happy for that, and I'm very proud to admit that I got the chance to discover all those passions that I have. And even though I was an athlete and I was training all the time, my program, I would say, it's quite flexible. So if I have 2 trainings a day, between them I can do stuff. I have time to do and discover things. And find my passions.
It's perfect. Yeah. And local community, like in Craiova or in other cities, does it support you? Do you feel the support of the community?
Oh, definitely. And definitely fans in Craiova are very supportive. Like, they are just... I remember the first game that I played. It was with 4,000 people. And I was just in shock when I saw so many people that were just cheering for me, and they were screaming my name, and they were like, you got this, you can do it, like, good for you. It was refreshing, it was encouraging, it was like I felt this emotion, like very constructive emotion for me. And I think it's important for people to come and support every kind of sport, and just be there and be with the team and encourage them and come to the games, and just support in general.
Do you have any role models in handball?
Christina Nagu, for sure. She was my... I think she was the reason I started playing handball. When the first time I saw that game, she was there, she was playing. And I would say another role model for me is Stine Oftedal. She's also a very good handball player, but she just retired this year. I've had a lot of role models, I would say, because I look at the skill set of every like sport person, and I try to place that. I try to take that and make it my kind of skill. I also like Kyrie Irving also. He's a basketball player. He plays in the NBA. I like his spirituality. I like the way he puts this well-being and mental health into sport, because this is also a topic that people don't like to talk about, mental health in sports. This is a very, very big part, especially when you say underperform in a game. If you know how to pick yourself up from that and get over it, and then do your best and try your best to perform in the next game, it's very important. I also like this women handball player. Her name is Bruna de Paula. She's from Brazil. She has those skills, and she has those, like, the speed and the agility is just like amazing to see. I'm trying to do that. I'm still working on that. But yeah, I have a lot of people that I look up to.
And can I ask you to give small advice then to our girls listeners, and not only girls, who might be interested also in playing handball or other sports?
My biggest advice, my only advice, is to just follow your dreams. Never stop at one thing. Try everything that you think you would like. See what best fits for you, and never let somebody put you down. Always be strong. Like, throw like a girl, you know, like the phrase, like, yeah. Throw like a girl.
We're making it positive.
Yeah, way. This is a positive affirmation for sure.
Totally. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this discussion, and
Thank you. I also enjoyed.
thank you for tuning in Inclusivity Unlocked podcast. We've been here with our special guest, Valentina, a handball player. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on us and give a like on Spotify and YouTube. It's very important for us. And see you next time to unlock the new topic.
Bye.